Okay, so I'm leaning my hand on the paper, right? And as I move my hand about the paper, I'm going to keep leaning on the paper using the heel of my hand, holding the pencil loosely and further back from the tip of the pencil to keep it nice and light. So the line should be very, very light. Now, I'm going to fill the page and create an upside down egg shape. Now, you can see I'm correcting the line as I go. So the lines are what we would call sketchy, but very, very light. So once I decide to tidy it up, I can go in with a rubber and do that. Okay. Now, once you've got your upside down egg shape sketched onto the paper, I'm going to put this in a wee bit darker for you to see. The first thing we're going to find is where the eyes come in. Now, thinking about, place the paper, the pencil on the paper to decide, right, where does that eye line come in? Now think about it. Most people put the eyes in about here if they're not used to doing a drawing. That's going to make you look a wee bit like an alien. Okay, and some people move it down a bit. In actual fact, technically, your eyes are about halfway down the face. You also want to put in a line of symmetry for the rest of the features. Okay? First step to making your face look human, get your eyes in the right place. Okay, so that's your starting point. So this is where the eyes come, about halfway. You can adjust the shape of the face once you've got your features in and you're finishing the drawing off. Now, I want you to think about the halfway mark here and make a wee mark, and also the halfway mark between here and here is about here. Okay, that's going to give you the centre of the eye. Now, next measurement we're going to take is halfway between here and here is your nose, and then halfway between there and there is your mouth. Now, getting these measurements in the first place is really important. You can adjust them slightly depending on the shape of your face. Now, to draw the eye, like that, your eyes have a completely geometric circle right in the middle of it, and that is the pupil. Okay, the next measurement I want you to take is halfway between there and there, and that's going to give you the corner of the eyes. Okay, and then if you half that again, that's going to give you the iris, which is the coloured part of your eye, and I want you to sketch that in all the way around. Like that. Now, you want to try and get a perfect circle within a perfect circle. What you don't want to do is leave the whole of the iris visible. Unless you've been electrocuted or seen a ghost, then you usually don't see the whole of the iris. Okay, so what you're going to do is we need to then put in the eyelid to cover this up. Now, the corner, very corner of your eye tends to start below this line. And depending on, and this is where the mirror's really handy, because you want to look at the shape of your eyelid. So if I'm drawing my eyelid, it comes up like that, then over the top of my eye, and the other corner ends above the line, like that. Okay? You have this little pink bit at the corner of your eye. Look at the shape of that, because again, that's what makes you look like you. And then the bottom of the eye will curve up and around, because remember, your eye is a ball stuck in a hole in your skull, and that's what you want to get with that shape. So you can see here, I can no longer see the top of that, so I'm going to take it off. And look how much space. So about a quarter is the white on either side, and then half of that is taken up by the iris. It really fills that space. A common mistake is drawing an eye like that. Okay, that is wrong. If you want your eye, you need to really observe that natural shape. Now, you'll have a fold in your eyelid, and again, depending on what your eye looks like, will depend on the shape of that fold in here, or if you can see it at all. Indeed, your eyelashes do not go straight up like that. They come out towards you, so you get what's called foreshortening. So they're coming out and up. So if you're wearing makeup, you might see more of your eyelash. You tend to see it at the end, but it sort of curves above the eye, and you might see the tips of the eyelash. Down here, you've got a double line, which is like called your waterline, and you'll just see less eyelashes coming out here. Now, in here, this area is made up of lots of tiny fibres that open and close the pupil, and so if you work from the inside out. Now, the white of the eye might have a bit of shadow on it, so you get the sense of that curve of the eye. So it's a wee bit darker in here. Okay, so you can lightly use your pencil. The outside of your iris is usually quite dark, and you'll have a bit of shadow up here, and you might have a wee highlight in the eye where the light hits it. And that highlight might be nice and sharp in here. And this bit's really dark. Your lash line's really dark. This bit in here is quite dark. This might have a shadow. Now, your eyebrow will come about an eye width. And that should follow the shape of your eye, like that, and it's not a solid line. So look at the way that the hairs lie and follow that shape of your eye, and it will go out beyond the eye. Look at the space between there and there, and don't do it too close and too far apart. You want a kind of neutral expression. Okay, like that. So if I put the other eye in, same again, pupil, measure half and half, and then half that again, and it should be about the same size as the other eye. Now, our eyes aren't always the same size exactly. Okay, right, now your nose. Alright, noses are tricky. So, your nose comes in line with the corners of your eye. Okay, like that. Now, you've got the outside edge of your nostrils, which kind of curve out like that. And this is where you've got to look really carefully at the shape of your nose. So you've got the bit in the middle, like that, and that comes up. Now your nostrils, your nose is not like that. Okay? the nostrils, you have to look really carefully at the shape of your nostrils, and depending on that shape, so you've got a shadow coming out there, and then you'll see this part curve around. Alright, and then this bit, so it's the shadow that is cast by your nostril, and that kind of fades out, and you've got a shadow in here, which as the cheek curves kind of creates a wee shadow in there. You can add that in, because the nose is it's coming out towards you, which makes it quite tricky to draw, so it's really about how you shade that in. Now you can clear up your guidelines as you go along, as you get what you need. So what's happening here is I've got a bit of shadow coming down here, a bit of shadow in there. So if you imagine that that's a spherical shape like a ball, so the shadow's going to come on this side here. Don't draw, what you don't want to see is that. Now shadows are sometimes perceived as lines, and that's why you'll see young children drawing a line connecting eyebrows to noses, when it's actually the shadow itself that creates. So you can start to use the tone to try and bring out the shape of the nose. A wee bit of shadow in here, and you can see them very, very lightly just adding pencil marks until it looks like a shadow, and in here, and that should start to build the tones of the face, the shape of the face. Okay, I'll leave that just now because you've got a sense of where the nose is. Now your mouth is coming out wider than your nose, so have a look. You can hold your pencil up in the mirror to see where everything lines up. Now, it's not a straight line like that. You've got your top lip. So I always take the letter M and flatten it out, M for mouth. And so you've got this sort of shape, creating the space in between your lips. And then your top lip, so you've got a cupid's bow, your top lip tends to be a bit smaller than your bottom lip, and your bottom lip's a bit fuller. So you have a wee shadow here and a wee shadow there, and then that part of your lip. So look at the shape of your lips. If you want to get a likeness, then looking at that shape is really important. So sometimes you've got more of a... So now I've made that line quite dark, which is okay because you've got a shadow there. And your top lip tends to be a bit darker, so you have shadow at the corner of your mouth, and that sort of fades out. And then this sort of shadow around here. So you see I'm taking my pencil and kind of think about the surface of your face and the direction that that comes in. And so imagine if you were to sort of draw around the curves of your mouth, anything that sticks out more is going to be more lit, so it's going to be lighter, it's going to catch the light. So I've got light coming from this direction, from a window. So this side of the face is going to have more shadow in it. Lips itself. And then you've got this wee dent in here. Alright, now you can see here it's kind of left my chin a bit small. So this is where your egg shape's really just a guide. And I'm going to look at the shape of my chin and my jaw. So I need to give myself a wee bit more jawline in here, a wee bit more. And this is where you look at the shape of your face, whether you've got a kind of longer face, where your cheekbones come in, jowls, and your jawline. So it's starting to look like a human face. Okay, So you'll then have your chin. I've got a wee bump, dimple on my chin there. I've got shadow, the corner of my mouth, which kind of extends up here. So just have a wee think about what sticks out the most on your face, which is going to be catching the light, and anything that falls back, I'll create a shadow in there. So all shadow in here now. Got cheekbones. Now, looking a bit strange because you're baldy and you've got no ears, unless that's what you look like. We're going to fix that. Now, you look at where your neck comes in. So, imagine, so look at where it lines up. Your neck, don't draw a wee pencil neck like that, because your head will fall off if that was you in real life. Biggest mistake people make is do a tiny wee neck. So you want to make sure you look at where it lines up. Now, it's still a bit weird because I've no ears. I usually say the corner of the eye is a good guide for where your neck comes in. Now your ears, very tricky things to draw. So, top of your ear usually comes in line with about the corner of your eyebrow, corner of your eye, and the bottom of your nose. Okay? So, you'll have a bit of hairline coming in front of your ear, here, depending on the style of your hair. Now your ear, have a look at the shape. So come round at the top, straight down, and then your ear lobes fix into the side of your head. I'm not looking in the mirror for this, I need to have a wee look. I've got a bit of hair coming down there. Now look at, your ears are quite complex, so you've got a bit that comes over the top there like that, which then creates a shadow coming down here. Then you've got a wee bit, there are names to all these parts of the ear. Everybody's ears are kind of similar, so you've got a bit of shadow in there. So you can kind of simplify it just to give the suggestion of an ear. You've got your hairline coming in there. And then my other ear, so I've got my hairline. And then the other ear, which I'm kind of turned slightly to the side, so I've seen a wee bit less of that. That's coming over and round like that. Okay, bit of shadow. I'm just going to suggest that there in my hair. Now, hairline. Remember, this is your scalp, okay, and your hair grows out from that, so it's going to be bigger. Right, now I've got a fringe, which kind of comes down here like that. So my hair's growing, so all I'm seeing coming forward is a fringe. So leave a gap, because remember your hair comes towards you and it comes out of your scalp. So that original line can come out. Okay? And then the whole other lesson in here, so I've got bits coming, look at the direction of the line. Comes back, it goes back over my ear and disappears around the corner. I've got wee bits of hair coming around there, and this side, again the hair is tucking behind my ear, so it goes around the side, and I'm just going to put a few lines in to suggest it. So my fringe coming down here, it kind of, it's not all perfectly straight, it's all coming forward like that, and just keep adding in your hair line by line, looking at the shape of it. I've got it up at the back, so I've got bits coming out here, and so on. We'll look at other hairstyles and stuff like that. I'll see if I can give you a link to drawing different hairstyles. So that's the basis of your face. You can draw, maybe see a wee bit of your clothing in here. Maybe done my neck a wee bit thick there. Again, it's all done very lightly, building it up gradually. So if I make a mistake, I can take it out. And then I would go in and I would start, be kind of intensifying. some of the tones here, lash line, and start to look at light and shade and what's happening in here to get the eyes and get all the features to stand out a bit more. And really examine the picture that you've got in front of you to see what's happening with the tones. Once you're happy with your drawing, you can build up gradually the light and dark areas.